with the latest on this investigation tonight. Amanda?
Well, good evening. Phoenix police detectives here have their work cut out for them trying to find the person who killed this devoted husband, father, and grandfather. Now, the victim is 78-year-old Jess Sixkiller, a man with a long, proud past. Phoenix police say he was shot during a home invasion early this morning. It happened in his Maryville home near 55th Avenue in Camelback. His wife of 58 years hiding in a bed.
Now, 2 employee cars and a golf cart were also destroyed in the fire. Fire investigators working now on figuring out exactly what caused that propane leak and what sparked the massive blaze. I'm Nicole Garcia, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Nicole. Tonight, police are searching for the person who gunned down a man in his own home. The victim was a
Sixkiller's daughter, Janelle, says he had an amazing full life as a family man and a trailblazer for Native Americans. He leaves behind a wife who's battling pancreatic cancer, as well as 4 adult children. Phoenix police are asking anybody with information to give them a call. Reporting live in downtown Phoenix, Amanda Goodman, 3TV.
Amanda, thank you. And now to the very latest in the freeway shootings. The suspect who remains in jail at this hour is now facing a grand jury indictment.
Officers found the victim's body, but the shooter got away. Sixkiller was a member of the Cherokee Nation and a civil rights activist. He was also reportedly one of the first Native Americans to work for the Chicago Police Department.
Disturbing allegations being made against former Phoenix Suns star Kevin Johnson. Many knew him simply as KJ. 20 years and telling her story to the sports blog Deadspin.com. Amanda Koba says that she met KJ back in 1996 when she was only 15 years old.
She claims that Johnson fondled her at his home. Koba is now in her 30s and lives in Virginia. Johnson is now the mayor of Sacramento, California.
A spokesperson for Kevin Johnson says these allegations are 2 decades old. They were thoroughly investigated and rejected by law enforcement and reported in the media. They were not true then, and they are not true now, period.
And although the allegations are not new, this is the first time that the alleged victim is really speaking out about what she says happened back then.
As is the case of many sexual assaults, it can be very difficult for victims to come forward. Danielle Miller spoke with the victim's advocate and joins us with more on what they had to say about this. Danielle.
John Kerry, Amanda Koba has been quiet about the incident for close to 20 years. She says terrible things were said about her, but now she's an adult and she can take it. A local sexual assault victims advocate tells us that it can take victims even longer than this to come forward. An article recently.
Investigators say copycats might be shooting guns or other weapons on freeways, so the investigation remains open. As for Merritt Jr., he's scheduled to be arraigned on those 15 charges this Thursday. And even though there are 7 unsolved cases, DPS has removed the I-10.
Now, about 20 years later, she's breaking it.
It seems like she's just not going to allow herself to be intimidated anymore.
CEO of the Arizona Coalition to End Sexual Assault and Domestic Violence, Allie Bones, says the things Koba says Johnson did were characteristics of grooming. Things like giving her a pet name, reading the Bible, and praying with her.
And it definitely seems like he was trying to create an atmosphere where she was trusting him, where they had a relationship in which he could take her. You know, her mom obviously let her go with him.
Koba said in the article a staffer told her the reason to not prosecute was because of a lack of evidence and because of who Johnson was. Bones says victims usually have a harder time coming forward when it's against someone of power.
They fear that they aren't going to be believed. They fear that they're going to go through a character, assassination or interrogation about who they are, what was their motivation.
Bones says because of people like Koba, things are changing.
Because of today's
in the state. Now, it doesn't outlaw the use of cell phones entirely inside of a car, but
willingness of the public to forgive.
Koba now writes on her blog at mandykoba.com. She's hoping this blog will help other victims feel comfortable speaking out and coming forward. Reporting live, Danielle Miller, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Danielle. The prime suspect in 4 of the freeway shooting cases has been indicted by a grand jury. Les Merritt Jr. was arrested a week ago tonight. DPS says ballistics testing linked Merritt to 4 of the 11 shootings. He's charged with 15 felony counts. Merritt remains in custody on $1 million bond. You can read the full indictment, by the way, on our website, fox10phoenix.com. Meantime, you may have noticed that something is missing along our Valley freeways since the shooting started. Those electronic signs, the tip line for the I-10 shooter, they have come down. And this is very interesting. The DPS is saying removing that message just days after the suspected freeway shooter was arrested. They're saying they feel this is a